After the Champions League draw was really known to the sporting director of Arsenal, that is Edu Gaspar, who went ahead to obviously represent Arsenal in Switzerland, where the grand draw of the round of 16 was held. He has gone ahead and really vocalized Arsenal's plan to win the Champions League and overcome FC Porto at first, and then see who else is obviously gonna come in through. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? This is the Football News Show, and Rokani David is my name. You can as well call me already onto this YouTube channel of ours. And today here we come in peace to obviously bring you the latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned. So to me, I really tell everyone that continue to subscribe. We want to hit 20,000 subscribers before the end of this month, and I know it can come to pass, and you guys that really watch us on a daily can continue subscribing, because the more you subscribe, the more this channel really grows big and big and bigger. So even Begiristan, the sporting director who does the same job at Man City, has also gone ahead and spoken about the Champions League draw against Copenhagen, and Manuel Neuer of Bayern Munich has also gone ahead to speak about the draw. And all these three teams, if at all they knock out their teams they've gone ahead to be drawn with, we might see Arsenal drawing with Bayern Munich at the quarterfinal, or drawing with Man City at the quarterfinal. So it's really very important to hear what is coming in from each corner of the sporting directors, because the sporting directors are the vision bearers of what the team is gonna be. And let no one lie to you that a manager can be a vision bearer in the modern day football of the vision of the club. The vision of the club is drawn by the CEO and the sporting director. So Edu is the right person to come out and really speak on this. We thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, and let's obviously take it to the level where it's supposed to be, and let's go ahead and really see what this man had to say about this draw of Arsenal. He said, "We are going to play against a club, FC Porto, that is very used to playing in the competition, because they play in it every single year, and they have a lot of players as well with big experience. We have to understand how are we going to play and respect them as much as we can. We will play our game and see if we can go through this stage. We can see how they are playing, how organized they are, and the players that they have. FC Porto is a club that you have to be really prepared to play against, or we will have problems. So what we have to concentrate on is maintaining our levels and the way we are playing." So I liked it a lot when this man came in through and obviously talked about the experience that they've gone ahead to obviously see in FC Porto. By the way, FC Porto, as I told you in the second video I recorded today, that they finished, or they were knocked out from the round of 16, right? Last season, or last Champions League season of 2022-2023 by Inter Milan. But they put up a fight, and they can put up a fight against any team. FC Porto has not been lucky when it comes to playing the English sides. I remember United knocked them out one time. Liverpool has gone ahead to do that. Man City have gone ahead to do that. So they've not been lucky each and every time they've been playing or versing the English sides. But when you look at what he's saying, he's talking about the big experience and the experienced players they're really having that have gone ahead to obviously grace that team for a long time. For example, Pepe, who was at Real Madrid, who plays in the central defense. But for me, amidst his experience, I find it as one of those loopholes that Arsenal might use to obviously explore this guy and obviously expose him, because he's 40. You can't tell me that he's still fast as he used to be. He's no longer fast as he used to be. That is it. And I think Gabriel Jesus, Bukayo Saka, and Martinelli can capitalize onto that and see how they obviously expose this team. I know if Arsenal goes with its best side in FC Porto, they can really knock it out. And Arsenal, the Fabs, I've gone ahead to tell you. The other experienced player is Evanilson and Teremi. Those are the two center forwards they play with. Remember, they play a system of 4-4-2. And there is some other exciting player known as Pepe. But there is a goalkeeper known as Diego Costa, one that will be so much to watch in the summer transfer window, because even last summer Chelsea, Man United, and very many other teams were interested in him, the likes of Tottenham Hotspur, but they couldn't go for him. So to me, I really understand what he's really talking about, and he is talking about if Arsenal maintain their levels, you know, he has talked about Arsenal maintaining their levels. Obviously, I don't see Arsenal dropping their levels. Do you know why? They've gone ahead to show us that even if they're having 6 players out because of injury, they played one of their best games of the season, by the way. Yesterday in the Premier League, apart from the game they played against which team? There is a team in the Premier League that really played well. By the way, against Aston Villa, Arsenal played very well. But to me, against Brighton was really the best game Arsenal is going to have to play in the Premier League, because they controlled that game from the first minute to the last minute of the game, you know. But do you know how many players were out? Tomiyasu, Julian Timber, Thomas Partey, Fabio Vieira, Jorginho was out, and El Nini. So they had 6 players out, and they managed to obviously play like that. So these additions that Arsenal went ahead to obviously make in the summer transfer window have gone ahead to help this side of Arsenal represent every time it's called up to the best stage. And he has also gone ahead to hint about organization. When he hints about organization, what comes to your head when the January transfer window is just 13 days around the corner? It means Arsenal have a plan to strengthen. They've gone ahead to get in some huge money, you know, after their performance in the Champions League, because they've won 4 games, drawn 1 and lost 1. And at the stage where they're going, the round of 16, there is more money. You get? There is more and more and more money, because when you add the money they've gone ahead to get from the Get collection of selling tickets, you know, and the money people spend while they're at the Emirates, like buying kits, eating, the drinks, the souvenirs, and so on and so forth, Arsenal have gone ahead to making more money. And at this level, tickets of the Champions League increase. They are heightened. Their prices are really raised. The money you get every time you proceed to the next stage is really huge. And they know that if at all they can reach the semi-final, then they can get in more and more and more money. You get? So, when he hints about organization, he's talking about the players that Arsenal might sign. You get me? Hinting about the players that Arsenal might sign. And trust me, Arsenal are going to sign a big player in this January transfer window. They have to get one, because they are really lacking depth into the midfield. Though on paper, if they are all available, you'll understand that Arsenal doesn't lack any player in the midfield. If you're having Fabio Vieira, Odegaard, Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, Jorginho, El Nini, you know, the likes of Trossard, Emile Smith-Rowe can also be added into the mix. But ask yourself, out of Jorginho, Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and Odegaard, name me another player that plays the midfield of Arsenal who is not injury prone. Fabio Vieira is, Emile Smith-Rowe is, Thomas Partey is, El Nini is. So it shows you that they need another multi-dynamic player to play in that midfield, you know, and they need another player to come in through and obviously deputize, or be a case study, or a competitor for Bukayo Saka. And I think that's where they are going to go to. That's where they're going to go to, and because Edu knows exactly what the Champions League is all about, you know, and I know players like Kai Havertz and Jorginho have gone ahead to win it, will knock on the door of Mikel Arteta after drawing them against FC Porto and tell him, please, the level at which we are going, we're not looking at FC Porto. FC Porto is just something small for us to really kick it out of the way. But the hugest task obviously starts when Arsenal is through to the round of 8. That is the quarterfinal, where there are teams like Barcelona or Napoli, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, PSG or Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan. You know, those are levels that we're talking about. So they need to prepare themselves early. And I know they're going to knock out PSG. They're going to knock out FC Porto, because they are really one of the best teams in the world and they deserve to be where they are. So he went ahead to add on and really said about their draw in the Champions League. The most important thing for us is to maintain our performances and the way we are playing. That's our focus. That's where we want to be and want to keep growing. So let's see how far we can go in the competition. We want to try and go as far as possible. But We are very much concentrating on playing well, performing well, and playing the best football we can. And then we will see how far we go. So, he's so much inward looking, you know, about what Arsenal can do. And I've always gone ahead to tell you that if you're really well prepared, you don't need to know what your opponent is all about. You don't even need. All you have to come through and really tell your players, we are going to do the following. And to me, I think Arsenal is obviously going to annihilate FC Porto, especially at the Emirates. And the fixtures, by the way, are out, you know. Let me see. Let me see. There is something I want to see here. I want to really let you know when Arsenal is playing their game, right? The fixtures are really out. Champions League draw. UCL fixtures. So, I want to let you know when Arsenal is going to be playing. Arsenal will be playing on the 13th, right? So, Arsenal is going to play on the 21st of February, right? Away in Porto. Then, on the 12th of March, they'll host FC Porto at the Emirates. That is it. And that's how Arsenal is going to be like. So, that's exactly how everything is panning out for Arsenal. And the sporting director is going to have to put out his say. So, let's go to the sporting director of Manchester City, who does the same role like this guy. Remember, Copenhagen is one of those teams that really gave them a hard time last season in the group stages. And he had something to say about it. So, he says, this is Turkey, Begiristan on Copenhagen. He said, in the group they played Bayern Munich, Galatasaray, Manchester United and went through. They were second best, so it means a lot. They've been better than Man United and Galatasaray, two clubs with much more experience in the Champions League. So we have to be careful. We have to take it serious and respect what they've done. They have something very good. We've already played Copenhagen in the Champions League last season. So we go back to a wonderful place to visit. They played very well at home, but what happened 2 years ago means nothing. And for me, as a person who supports Man United, there is no way you tell me that Copenhagen can knock out Manchester City. That's out. United had very many chances at Old Trafford, but they failed to obviously carry them off, and the game was at 1-0. I don't believe Man City at Etihad can fail to really beat Copenhagen. And when United went away in Copenhagen, they were 2 goals up in 20 minutes. And the red card of Marcus Rashford really gave them a turnaround. Even when it was 2-2, United went ahead to get a lead. So, in my own understanding, it has gone ahead to come to me that Man City will go through. Unless the same favor of a red card comes in through, but I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening because you can't tell me that chance will obviously strike you twice. I see Man City knocking them out, and I don't really welcome the nonsense that Copenhagen went ahead to beat them, because Man City is really a better side, and United failed because of the red card. Then Begiristan added and said, we know what it takes now to win the USL, and we want to do it again. We finished top of the group, and we've played well in Europe. Once we are in the knockouts, we have to understand why we are. The respect for all contenders is huge, but of course all opponents will be difficult, and the first one we have to work is on Copenhagen. Yeah, he's right. They're supposed to first work on Copenhagen, and I think Copenhagen is not going to be one of those hurdles in the way of Manchester City. And when you look at Manchester City, when are they playing? They are playing on the 6th of March, you know. Manchester City, all right, where is the fixture? Man City, Copenhagen. What is Manchester City really? So Copenhagen and Manchester City will play their first game on the 13th of February. That will be away in Copenhagen. And the 6th of March, that's when the return leg is going to be played in Etihad or in Manchester. So that's what everything is going to be about, Manchester City and Copenhagen. So we wait and see how it will unfold when those two teams really meet. And people think it's like it's a far-fetch, but December is done. After January, guess what happens? Champions League football returns, and it returns early, you know, on the 6th of February. That's when, sorry, I think on the 13th of February, that's when it returns. So we are like 2 months away from Champions League return, and teams will need to understand that they'll be really up and running. Now, let's go to the other guy. That is Manuel Neuer. Manuel Neuer, he's a goalkeeper for Bayern Munich. He has said on their draw against Lazio that it's an Italian team that's always well positioned tactically. We've already had positive experiences with Lazio. We are going to the games as favorites, but we can't underestimate them. I have very positive memories of the stadium in Rome. The fans in Italy are always very loud. Everyone is looking forward to games. We will try to win both games. And I'm telling you that if the side of Bayern Munich doesn't really change the way they defend, then they might really find themselves in a position of really being exposed left, right, and center, because a team they're going to play is really very, 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 very attack-minded, and they can pack the bus, Lazio. So we wait and see how that pans out. So I call upon your reactions to Edu vocalizing Arsenal's plan to knock out FC Porto. I welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about Begeristan at Manchester City also vocalizing the plan of them to knock out Copenhagen, and Manuel Neuer vocalizing the plan to obviously knock out Lazio to see if they proceed on the round of 16. And tell me, if Bayern Munich goes through and Man City, which team would you fancy to face as an Arsenal fan? I leave that for you. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokani David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. The Muslims Barakallahu Fikum. We out.